Good afternoon, everyone.
Rahul, I'm just going to repeat what Chetan Sharma said last night announcing the team. He said to a particular question on DK and Rishabh Pant, he said, no worries, no problems, India is going to win the World Cup.
Jeez. I haven't heard what he said, but I'm glad he's very confident. We'll have to play well to win. There's no question about it. Yeah, we started well. A little bit of a disappointing game at Perth. I thought we fought really well and fought really hard, and a little bit of luck here and there. We made a few mistakes as well, and that could have been slightly different result. But having said that, the Pakistan game could have gone the other way as well. So yeah, these things happen in 2020 cricket. But yeah, we're very confident, but we know we have to play very, very well from here on in if we want to win. It's really a question of winning the next 4 games. Really, it's literally you have to win the next 4 games to be able to win this tournament.
Rahul, the question is how are you assessing, is there a problem with technique or mindset as far as KL Rahul is concerned? Is there something that's bothering you, his approach?
No, not at all. I think he's a fantastic player, and he's got a proven track record. He's done really well. I thought he's been batting superbly, and these things can happen. I think in a 2020 game, sometimes it's been a tough. It's not been that easy for sort of top order batsmen. This tournament's been pretty challenging. I thought he was superb in the. Maybe a lot of you were not there, but in the practice game against Australia with Mitchell Starc and Patrick Cummins, and it was a pretty good attack. And I thought he batted superbly in that day to get 60. I think 50 or 60. I'm not sure exactly how much of quite few. So he's actually playing really well, and just hoping it all clicks together over the next 3 or 4 games. And yeah, we know his quality, we know his ability, and he's really well suited for these kind of conditions, these kind of pitches. He's got a good all-round game. He's got a very good, strong back foot game, which is obviously very much required in these conditions. So we're pretty confident. We're happy with the way he's hitting it.
Rahul, talking about this match, again there's some rain threat. What actually the team do when there's a chance of rain cattle match, DLS and something, Dakwa twist comes in and all? And if it becomes a 10-over match or 12-over match, then what exactly is the approach naturally the teams take?
We can't, and from our general chat has always been to control what we can control. The weather and what is going to happen, unfortunately, we can't really control, right? I think considering one, I think Afghanistan's been very unfortunate. I think 2 of the games have got washed out. We've been lucky. We've had, we've been able to play both our sort of, all 3 of our games for full 20 overs. So we've been lucky, I'd say. But yeah, we can only control what we can control. If the weather tomorrow challenges us or forces us to play a 10-12 over game, then we'll respond, accordingly. We'll play it like it is. You can't go in thinking about it or planning for a 10 over. You don't know how many overs it will be. So you go in thinking it'll be a 20 over game, and then we'll just respond accordingly. So yeah, we'll control it as and when we get there.
Just a quick follow-up on KL Rahul. So, when you tell us that KL Rahul has been batting really well, do you also address this issue in the dressing room and also tell him the same thing that yes, you have been batting really well, these conditions suit you, or do you just let him be because, it's fine as long as the team is doing well?
No, we have a lot of conversations with our players, and a lot of it is it's hard to get into exact details about what conversations you have with your players, but rest assured, I think both in words and in action, I think over the last year he knows he has our support. He's known that. There's been a lot of clarity about what our side is going to be, what our squad is going to be come to this tournament, and we haven't wavered from that for a very long time. Yes, because we play a lot of cricket, you might see a lot of different people playing in different situations, in different games. There have been a lot of injuries, including him. He's had phases where he's unfortunately been injured. But in word and in action, I think with all of our players, we've and I think that's the great thing about Rohit, that he's really shown them that confidence and that belief.
Rahul bhai, Vimal Kumar here. पिछले 1-1.5 साल से जब से आपने कोच बने, विराट कोहली को लेकर सवाल हो रहे थे, लेकिन आप लोगों ने आप या कप्तान आप लोगों ने कहा कि नहीं हम सपोर्ट करते हैं और उन्होंने जस्टिफाई किया। सेम थिंग अभी राहुल के साथ या डीके के साथ या किसी और प्लेयर के साथ होती है। ऐसे में कप्तान और कोच के लिए कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है? डू यू ट्राई टू से कि देखो हमारे पास कोहली का एग्जांपल है, हमने बैक किया, या फिर इस तरह की चीज़ें होती है, आपको पता कि अगर चीज़ें नहीं वर्कआउट होती हैं तो सारा ब्लेम भी आएगा। एज ए कोच और कैप्टन कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है वन सम इंडिविजुअल्स आर स्ट्रगलिंग और आप लोग उसको टू द हिल्ट बैक कर रहे होते हैं?
नहीं, डिफ़िकल्ट तो होता ही नहीं एक्चुअली, हमारे लिए तो ये डिफ़िकल्ट है ही नहीं, क्योंकि हम लोग ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते कि बाहर क्या हो रहा है, क्या लोग कह रहे हैं। वी हैव सर्टन ideas in mind, we have certain belief in players, we've played the game enough to know that people will go through some ups and downs. We also understand the nature of Indian cricket, which there is, once you've gone past Kohli and Kohli has scored runs, who's the next guy? And then if Rahul scores runs, okay, let's look around, who's the next guy? So that's part of the job. I mean, and that's not, I don't mean that in a derogatory manner. That's just the nature of professional sport, right? I think, when we play this game. Actually, it's not at all difficult for us because we are very clear. We don't get, swayed by what is said outside and what people are saying. We have the confidence in our players. We have the belief in our players. We know, especially in this 2020 format, which is such a, how can you put it, high risk format in the sense that you're asking people to play a high risk brand of cricket. You're asking them to play a positive brand of cricket. We've always had that belief that we need to give them that confidence, that backing. And our players, and whoever we picked here in the 15, we can't always play everyone in the 15. We only play 11. But everyone has our, backing and support, and they've been here because we know their quality. And we also understand that times, they might not be able to deliver for us. It doesn't, make them bad players. But yeah, they've certainly backed them, and they have our support. It's not difficult at all for us to back players and support players, not at all.
Rahul sir, just wanted to know that your assessment of India's death bowling so far in this tournament, because against Pakistan and South Africa in both occasions we have, I think, spent more than 90 runs in the last 10 overs.
Look, it's it's an area of a game that we've wanted to look to address, to get better at. Obviously Booms was one of our guys who was penciled in to bowl us 2 of those overs. It's really heartening for us to see the way young Arshdeep Singh has developed over the last few months. If you had asked me in November when I first took over and I had a list of bowlers in my mind, sure, Arshdeep was there, but he was certainly, he hadn't had that kind of IPL. He had one good IPL. But the way he's come along after that, he's come and forced his way into the side and done really well. So that's a fantastically heartening thing to see. Again, someone like Shami and Bhuvi have bowled really well for us. So yeah, we have to keep developing and keep getting slightly better with our plans and our strategies around those games. I think I won't reach too much into the Netherlands game, to be very honest. We were trying to get a few wickets and you're trying a few things at the back end. Pakistan, I think we considered 53 or 54 runs. There were a few balls there that, Shaheen Shah Afridi hit us for a 6, and there was another full toss which I think Haris Rauf hit for 6, which, we looked at it and thought maybe we could have done things slightly differently. You don't concede those 6 runs and actually a pretty good power play. So there's 1 or 2 balls there that, hopefully we can get right and get better as we go along. But yeah, so it's certainly an area in all areas we want to get better, but that's one we're certainly looking at.
Rahul, to your right.
Yeah.
Hi. How do you think Dinesh Karthik has gone in this tournament? I mean, he seemed to have a very solid partnership with Surya the other night, and then the problem with the back. So what is his fitness status as well?
He's pulled up pretty well today. He was unfortunately had that spasm when he jumped to collect a bouncer. I think when he landed badly, I think he landed in a way that I think he just did his back a little bit. But with treatment and with the day in the next this morning he's pulled up pretty well. He's come to training, so we'll be assessing it. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how he pulls up tomorrow morning after a good practice session today. We'll put him through his paces and ensure that we've given him a good workout, and then see how he pulls up tomorrow morning before making a final decision. Again, tough for someone like DK, to assess how he's gone. Get to play many games. He got 1 ball against Pakistan at that back end, didn't bat against Netherlands. thought was building up a pretty good partnership with Surya at that stage. We needed that little bit of partnership, just to stabilize us. And it just was set up for him. But, again, that's the nature of this game. You play that high-risk shot and you can get out in that shot, which is why people need to be supported and backed as much as, we possibly can in these formats. Because, you hardly, sometimes people, especially in positions like DK's with 5, at biting at 5 and 6, you don't get enough balls, you don't get enough thing. And then when you have to go in, you have to really deliver high-risk shots without having much time to settle in. So, our belief has always been to back and support players in those positions so that come the critical time, hopefully, they'll be in the right frame of mind to be able to play those crunch shots for us.
Rahul, here. How do you see Bangladesh as an opponent in general? And they have a poor record against India, and they are not a confident T20 side, actually. And Bangladesh captain Shakib Al Hasan actually well said that it will be an upset if Bangladesh beat India. So what's your take on that?
No, I think we respect them a lot. I think they're a very good team. I think this format and this World Cup has really shown us that, honestly, you can't take any team lightly. Ireland, showed that against England. We've seen enough games in this competition, and I think the fact that it is already such a short format, 20 overs is such a short format of the game. The margins of victory and defeat, sometimes even if they're 12 runs, 15 runs, it's actually just 2 hits. It's 2 hits one way or the other, and actually that's the game. So it is already a short and sort of rushed, noisy format that it's very difficult to sometimes say who's a clear favorite in some of these games. And on top of that, I think these conditions, have actually leveled the playing field to a large extent. Because the boundaries are suddenly bigger, and some of those big hits which you sometimes expect in the subcontinent to just go for 6, and you just know that I'll be able to make up those runs later on. It's not happening that easily. People are getting out. So I think, it's been a fantastic tournament from that perspective. Apart from the weather, I think it's been a terrific tournament in terms of just the nature of the games. And no, we certainly don't take Bangladesh lightly. Our preparation, our planning, will be as meticulous as it was against South Africa at Perth. No different.
Rahul, as you rightly said, it's a high-risk format and it's not fair to judge just on the numbers. But just that KL has not even yet been in a position to take a high risk. 2 of his dismissals are on defensive shots. Does that concern you a little, or are you able to afford that time to let him get in and and then start playing his game?
In these conditions, maybe we are able to afford him that time. And like I said, in the answer to the question, we completely back him. We have no concerns about him. We know that when he gets going, and I've seen it against Australia, against a top-class attack just a couple of weeks ago, I know the impact this guy can make. So, I think in Rohit and my mind, there's absolutely no doubt about who's going to open for us. And, and in this format, the nature, I think every wicket is different. I think you've just got to, that's one of the things this tournament has shown, playing in different parts of Australia. The grounds are so different. Suddenly you're playing in Perth the other night where the boundaries were 80 yards. They come here and it's suddenly different. The kind of shots you'll play here will be very different to the kind of shots you'll play at Perth. You'll have to bowl different kind of balls, which I think is a unique nature of playing this tournament in this country, that almost game to game you're having to adapt your tactics, your strategies to different conditions. And I think that's the uniqueness of that. And if the conditions so dictate that the ball is nipping around, doing a bit, then we can afford our batsmen to maybe be a little bit more conservative, keep wickets in hand and then target. I think it's about adapting and being smart. I don't think there's just one way to play T20 cricket on all conditions. Yes, there is a general template in which we understand T20, you have to be positive, you have to take the game on. That would be 80% of most of T20 games. But there is another 20%, and that can come in big tournaments like this, wherein you've got to have the players, and we discussed that in our dressing room, that who have to be able to adapt and understand and read a situation. If it's not a 200-run wicket, or it's not a 180-run wicket, and 160 is going to get the job done for you, then let's figure out a way to get to 160. I mean, last night, 150 might have done the job for us. I mean, 133 nearly did. 150 might have, right? So I think I think we might be able to afford people a little bit more time here. We may not. It might be a really flat one when we come out here tomorrow, and it might become a 180 wicket and we might need to go harder. So I think the key word for me is adaptability and reading these conditions, these boundaries really well. And the teams that do that best will probably be the ones that will end up in the top 4 and certainly in the top 2.
Rahul, a concerning incident with Virat in Perth regarding his hotel room and the security concern. Have you spoken to him? Is he okay? And what sort of support are you expecting as a team now you're in Adelaide?
Yeah, obviously it's obviously disappointing. It's not very comfortable for anyone, let alone Virat. I mean, it is disappointing, but yeah, we have flagged it with the relevant authorities. They've taken action. And hopefully, incidences like this will not happen, in the future. And hopefully people are a lot more careful because, it's the one place where you feel you're away from people's prying eyes and without the media glare on you and without the photographs that all of these players, have to deal with. It's the one place where you hope to feel secure and safe. And that's taken away. It's not really a nice feeling, but yeah, no, I think he's dealt with it really well. He's fine. He's here at training. He's absolutely perfect. And I am really hoping that, we've taken it up with the relevant authorities, and that's all we can do. Lovely to be in Adelaide, man. Lovely city. Good memories.
हेलो राहुल, फील्डिंग के बारे में आप क्या कहोगे, क्योंकि T20 में फील्डिंग इतना इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है, चाहे 2 रन सेव करना हो, चाहे एक ब्रिलियंट रन या ब्रिलियंट कैच, तो उसमें थोड़ी सी और एज आज आनी चाहिए, ऐसा लगता है आपको?
I mean, we've been good, and there were a few opportunities that we could have taken in the last game. That happens. I thought we were very good in the other 2 games. I thought we were very good against Pakistan in that game in some very difficult conditions. So yeah, it is a very important format. Margins are so small. Every opportunity that you take, especially when you've only managed to score 133, you've got to take it. We didn't. It's not because of lack of effort or anything. Again, it's just the nature of the game. Some days those direct ones hit. You hit those and they hit from anywhere. Some days they don't, and it's and the ball goes to the best fielder in the park, and and it can happen. And that's a great lesson in humility, right? This can happen to anyone. Can't read too much into these things, and we keep doing our processes, keep working hard, and keep doing the things that we need to do.
Rahul, allow me to take you back just before 9 days. After the 19th over, were you also a bit tensed against the Pakistan match?
Yeah, bit tense is an understatement. Yeah, I mean, I to be honest with you, that game, I think, let's be honest, we were out of it for most part of it, and then I thought with 5 overs to go, 60 runs to go with, Virat and Hardik at the crease, I thought, wow, you sometimes back them to get 12. I know it was all still going to be tough, but I really thought, and then they bowled a couple of fantastic overs. They bowled 2 6-run overs. I think they bowled 6 and 6. I think it was Naseem and Harris, I think it was 6 and 6. And then we needed 48 in 3, and then you're thinking, wow, shucks, man, this is it's going to be tough for us. You need 28 in 8. The guy needs to hit 2 6s for you. He does it. Phenomenal stuff. You need 16 of the last over. You get 10 in 1 ball. You still need 6 runs you need 6 balls to get the remaining 6. So, I mean, it was that up and down. It was such a roller coaster ride. It's an incredible match to be a part of, and yeah, being tense was probably an understatement. But I was pretty relaxed till then because I thought were not in it. But then when you start thinking, oh, I'm in this, then you get a bit more tense. Cool. Thanks, guys.